What's up, Book Spring Peace Bros? Today, I'm going to be covering my top 5 favorite books. But before I go into that, we need to reiterate something amazing that's happened. Not published. Y'all, if I published my novel, I wouldn't be even posting anymore. I'm just kidding. I'd stay with y'all. I printed my novel. Yep, that's right. Shoot, I forgot how long it was. 608 pages. Double spaced, of course. Okay, but that's for later. We gotta get into my top 5 favorite books right now. My first book up is Proverbs.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Now, you may be asking, why Proverbs? What's good about Proverbs? When I read Proverbs, whether you're a Christian or an atheist or whoever, Proverbs is something everyone needs to read because it says things that we should all know daily. Even if you don't want to live as a Christian, it has lots and lots of good advice for you to have a wonderful life. So I think that if you were to read Proverbs just a few excerpts a day, maybe one verse a day, your life would be changed. My second favorite book is The Noticer by Andy Andrews. Andy Andrews is a local to Alabama. He grew up in Orange Beach, and this is actually his life story to becoming the author who he is today. His most famous book, I would say, is The Traveler's Gift, but The Noticer talks about how he becomes the author. He goes from living under a pier in Orange Beach to becoming a famous author. And this young man, actually he's an old man, he carries a briefcase around and he helps people with their lives by simply offering a little perspective. In fact, that's what it says. Sometimes all a person needs is a little perspective. And after I read this book, I swear, y'all, it has changed my life to knowing people, to making friends, to everything. And I guarantee you will not think the same way after you read this book. Because when you go from interacting with people after reading this book, all sorts of crazy things happen. You begin to understand why people are the way they are by simply knowing a little bit about them. And it's like magic. And it's not that long either. Shoot, this is 100 pages. Y'all need to be going into stores supporting this man right here. I mean, look at him. Isn't he you could just see him fishing on a boat with your uncle as his son. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway. My third favorite book, Animal Farm. Now, I know y'all thinking, Parker, do you just read short books?
Stupid.
No, that's not the case. But I love the fact that these authors are able to include so much and so little to get their point across. Like, one book I didn't include in this video, but I'd love to mention is The Old Man and the Sea. I don't like the book, personally. It's about an old man in the sea. That's what it is. But I had to do a project on it, and I was able to uncover an insane amount of symbolism. I mean, it's like Hemingway took years to make a spider web that's absolutely gorgeous, and it's just this itty-bitty product that's so insignificant. I mean, there's a reason why he won a Nobel Prize, people. There's a reason why. But back to Animal Farm. George Orwell didn't write a lot, but he could write. And in this little book, I mean, it's like not even 100 pages. It is so fantastic because it goes and talks about countries and their ability. Wait, hold on. Let me rephrase. It talks about the civilization and how people interact, and the symbolism involved in here is also extravagant. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic, along with the symbolism in The Old Man and the Sea. And I mean, Orwell just goes off the walls, imploring people all through his works, especially 1984. Now, there are some things I'd like to say about 1984, but I won't get into that in this video. But I'm just going to leave Animal Farm at it being a wonderfully symbolic book for how civilization reacts with each other's civilizations and how people go on from there. Stay hydrated. My fourth favorite book is Misery. Now, I know what y'all thinking. Parker. Bro. Okay, hear me out, y'all. I've read some Stephen King, and Misery is one of the best things I've ever read because the way that Stephen King perfectly elicits suspense and the horror genre in general, I mean, it's stunning. It's absolutely fantastic. It's just phenomenal how he's able to impact so much in so little of a setting, and he's able to unravel this story that is so small and so insignificant, but it has so much to tell. And I mean, I guess you could say I'm an admirer of small things with big importance. I haven't read another thriller novel as good as this. I mean, this is top tier for thriller novels. The last book I'd like to mention is a rather weird one, but The Phantom Tollbooth. Story time with Books Bring Peace. When I was in, 5th grade, we had to read this book, and it was one of the weirdest pieces of mumbo jumbo I've ever read. It sounded like people were on drugs writing this. Whoever this was, Norton Juster, I don't even know who that is. But this book is one of the craziest and best stories I've ever read. I mean, just looking through it right now, I can see there's all sorts of stuff. And I mean, I would read this book again in an instant. I mean, it has illustrations, if y'all are those type of people. Which I'm not judging. But I mean, Books Bring Peace loves all books because they bring peace. But I mean, there's just so much in this book that you can unpack. And I mean, I'm not one for fantasy novels. In fact, I'm going to say it. Harry Potter's not my favorite.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
And y'all listen, I have a reason why. The same year I was reading this book, I went ahead and read all the Harry Potter books to the 5th book. And y'all know that book's 800 pages long. And just imagine my 5th grade Heine trying to read an 800-page book for 5 months. And I mean, I was absolutely exhausted by the time I finished it, and I stopped reading Harry Potter, and I've had a dislike for it ever since. Now, if I went back and read some of it, y'all know I'd like it. But as of right now, Harry Potter is not my favorite. I mean, J.K. Rowling, she is a fantastic fantasy novelist, and Harry Potter is a wonderful series, but it's just my personal preference, which will likely change. But as for the Phantom Tollbooth, I mean, it just goes on and on about this fantasy world, and I just can't begin to describe it. Y'all, it's almost summer, and you know what the Alabama sun's gonna get you. The Boy Who Followed His Father into Auschwitz. Now, if y'all thinking, Parker, why you reading this garbage? Hear me out. I was with my dad at Books A Million, and I brought this up to him, and he's like, you would get that book, Parker. And I'm like, what? I mean, the other book I was gonna get, I knew I couldn't read because it was so outlandish. But anyway, this book is surprisingly enough about a boy who follows his father into Auschwitz. But I mean, there's this story that goes into what was going on in their minds. And y'all know there are tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of Holocaust books. Tons. But and I have a whole shelf of all the Holocaust books that I've read. But this one was the most realistic of all of them I've ever read. And I know this sounds really obscure, but it makes it sound more humane. As in, more of like how it actually happened. Because a lot of the other books I've ever read have emphasized the points of the atrocities committed during the Holocaust. But this goes along with those atrocities to all the good things that have happened and all the things that happened normally. And it goes from before Holocaust ever happened to all the way after. And it's insane all that's happened. It goes into all the terminology, what day by day is like in the camps. And I mean, the person who wrote this did their research. I mean, look at all this. They did their research. I would recommend this book so much. And I recommend all of these books so much. Every single one of them. 10 out of 10, 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 10 out of 10. And y'all don't forget, this book, when it comes out, y'all gonna have to read it. Because if you don't, I'm gonna come through the screen and get you. You hear? Alright, y'all. One more announcement. See, Drippius is coming out with her new single. And so, as we near close to having more songs and more songs, I realize all my videos are just for songs. And I'm gonna start posting more. Starting with this video. And all the other shorts I make. So y'all be expecting more. Get your friends on my channel, and we're gonna have fun. Y'all know it? Okay. Take care now. Bye, y'all. See you later. Stay hydrated, and read all of these books. I'm telling you, you won't regret it. If you have any more books, please let me know in the comments. Because y'all, I love to read. Alright, see y'all later.
Pick up the okra.
Let's fry it.
Pick up the cheese.
Let's melt it.
Pick up the pralines.